The day before Curry court date, Mirror had court date for his burner. And you wanna know what Mirror dumb did? He pled guilty to a homicide weapon.
The young bag chasers, the same goes for other people and other groups who just keep committing violence, mostly with guns. They used to call themselves young bag chasers. They're not chasing much inside those cells anymore. But this is the 5th of 5 YBC defendants convicted.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, I'm sure by now most of you have already heard the news about YBC Dul losing his life not too long ago, when it's been reported that he was shot and unalived while he was leaving a friend's house. Surveillance showed that he was pretty much waiting at a stoplight behind the bus when another vehicle came alongside the driver's side and started shooting into the car that he was in, as he was rushed to the hospital and later pronounced deceased. Now, of course, everybody was wondering what happened, who's behind this, who is the person that actually took out Mr. Disrespectful himself. And come to find out, it was a 16-year-old by the name of Aiden Waters who's been arrested and charged for taking the life of YBC Dul. But aside from that, it's something that's pretty interesting that was in the report that we noticed that needs to be highlighted, so kids or anybody that's glorifying that culture of drill or taking people's lives or doing anything and then publicizing it on social media, maybe they could learn from it. Now, when it comes to the reports, it clearly states that YBC Dul was actually being watched by Philly police. And this is why I think it's important, because a lot of the young guys, they get in the drill culture and they see these other guys that's already in the music industry and doing what they want. They think it's okay, but they don't know the outcome of it. And it's two things. Unfortunately, YBC Dul, he got the worst part of the stick, where now he isn't alive. But there's another part where you get caught by law enforcement and you got to do a whole bunch of time behind bars. Now, I'm sure YBC Dul, he already knew that maybe there was a chance that he was being investigated, but do I think he know that he was being watched? I doubt it. But this just goes to show you that even though you think them people aren't watching what you putting on social media, what you putting in these songs, 9 times out of 10 they are, but you just never know. And when the reports, it states that they were tracking him, which means they pretty much knew his whereabouts already. So at the end of the day, he was being investigated 9 times out of 10. And if y'all know anything about YBC and YBC Dul, they recently had a couple members who have been arrested, and one of them have actually already allegedly told. So could that be the reason that they was already tracking him and on him about his whereabouts or whatever? Maybe so. But then again, you guys had to remember that he's one of the guys that was putting a lot of stuff in his music, videos, trolling, and things of that nature. Now, the thing that kind of gets me as well when it comes to this whole situation, yes, we hear that they were tracking him, and now that we know that he was under investigation and they knew his whereabouts, now it makes us wonder, how were they able to take this man's life while he was already under surveillance by law enforcement? So is it safe to say that police failed YBC Dul as well? Because it's one thing to lose your life to the streets, and knowing the life that he lived, unfortunately, that'll be understandable given the circumstance. But to hear that he was already being tracked and police were aware of his whereabouts, how was it that 16-year-old suspect, along with someone else, were able to get away with taking Dul's life? Were they on a break or something? I don't know. It's just a whole lot of weird stuff within that situation, but like I told y'all before, I found it interesting to know he was already being watched and somehow was still able to lose his life. Now, if you're an affiliate of YBC Dul, or if you're a part of YBC, and you know you've been on songs with Dul or in lives or doing anything illegal with him, none of our business, but you should be on your P's and Q's right now. Because they basically let the cat out the bag and let it be known that he was, in fact, being watched. So if he was being watched, 9 times out of 10, if you was affiliated with him in any other way, you're being watched as well. Let's not forget YBC Dul and YBC as a whole have been on Philly's police radar for a minute now. They've done several conferences calling them out and even letting them know that they are on their radar as well.
The young bag chasers, the same goes for other people and other groups who just keep committing violence, mostly with guns. They used to call themselves young bag chasers. They're not chasing much inside those cells anymore, but this is the 5th of 5 YBC defendants convicted.
Keep in mind, a close associate of YBC Dul prior to Dul's passing was arrested by law enforcement. His name is Mayor Pab, aka Mayor Pablo. The crazy part is, this is why it's essential that a lot of these kids stay out the street. Because when you hear how Mayor Pablo was locked up and why, it just goes to show that he just wasn't thinking. No disrespect or anything, but I feel as an older person, you would know better than to make the mistakes that he did, which probably would have avoided the current situation he's currently in. But listen to this. 22-year-old Mayor Pablo had a warrant out for his arrest for a body, conspiracy, and other related crimes involving the death of a man by the name of Sharif King. He decided to go to the Philadelphia Criminal Justice Center to show support for another friend of his by the name of YBC Curry, who was being sentenced to 42.5 to 85 years in prison for shooting 5 people, and 3 of those 5 people actually passed away in 2021. But get this, a day before that court date he attended, Mayor Pablo had his own court date for an illegal weapon charge where he would be caught with a weapon that was also included in a homicide.
Mayor got a warrant for homicide because the day before Curry court date, Mayor had court date for his burner. And you wanna know what Mayor dumb did? He pled guilty to a homicide weapon. That's why he got a homicide warrant, because he pled guilty to a gun that was on the homicide.
He pled guilty to the weapon. By pleading guilty to possessing a weapon that's involved in a homicide, you're basically pleading guilty to the homicide as well in their eyes. So when he showed up to court to support YBC Curry, they would immediately snatch him up. Now, if you're wondering how they came to the conclusion that Mayor Pab was guilty, it's a few factors that played a part. Mayor Pablo was traced back to the passing of Sharif King due to a slew of things, including flashing guns on social media and having his cell phone with him at the time of the shooting. An affidavit will tell us that an anonymous tipster linked Mayor Pab and other YBC affiliates to the shooting, which triggered police to start monitoring his Instagram, and they will stumble upon a live stream Mayor Pab did where he sat in a car with friends and flashed guns while on live. This also allowed them to figure out his location and where he would frequently hang out. After seeing him flash guns, this led them to a location they assumed he would be at from investigation, and to their surprise, they would find him in a parked car at that same location, which was 3500 block of Fairmont Avenue. Upon pulling him out the vehicle, under the driver's seat was a 9mm handgun, which ballistic evidence traced back to one of the guns used in the shooting of Sharif King, who passed away. Then to make matters worse, Mayor Pablo's DNA was also found on that same firearm. Mayor Pab was arrested and charged with illegal gun possession and pled guilty to the charges. Now here's where the snitching allegations come in. The same day Mayor was arrested, YBC affiliate Yak Yola's house was raided the same night. Maybe it's just a coincidence, or if you feel like YBC Dul did, you automatically assume Mayor Pablo cooperated. But honestly, it's no real confirmation that Mayor Pab told. The affidavit stated that the anonymous tipster that gave Mayor Pab up also included Yak Yola and Baby Yap. So basically the same reason they started investigating Mayor, which was the tipster, could be the same reason that they raided Yak Yola's house. Mayor Pab's situation was just a little more worse because he made it easier for law enforcement when they caught him on live with weapons. Then when they decided to go pick him up, they caught him with a firearm as well. And not just any firearm, the same one that was linked to the homicide that the tipster already linked him to. So that's why he was treated the way he was. And also keep in mind, Mayor's cell phone also played a part because they say the cell phone tower data placed him at the scene of the crime although he tried to turn it off after it appeared that the crime had already happened. But let's not forget the initial reason police ever suspected these guys of being involved in the passing of Sharif, because it all started by an anonymous tipster that still named 3 of those guys together. So in a nutshell, did man snitch? Can't say he did, because there haven't been any vivid proof, according to my knowledge, other than Yak Yola's home being raided the same night, which is just a coincidence at this point. Dul felt different about it, and he would take to his Facebook account to address the allegation, as he would say, quote, "Damn, my day one man's a whole rat now. If I get locked up, y'all know why, heartbreak emoji." However, this should be a clear lesson for anybody that swears them people aren't watching your activity on social media. Many people think police aren't watching and make the mistake of saying too much on live, or flashing weapons, or just saying anything incriminating. But you never know whether they're watching or not. The best thing to do is just not put anything that can incriminate you online at all. Period. Now, the walls were closing in on YBC as a whole, but especially YBC Dul. Even though everyone around him was getting locked up and he was still free, he was still on police radar, as according to the Inquirer, they labeled him the ringleader of YBC. In the article, it would state, quote, "Abdul Vix, a rapper known as YBC Dul, whom prosecutors considered to be the ringleader of the West Philadelphia-based gang, posted a photo with Hall on his Instagram not long after the arrest, lamenting yet another friend locked up. I feel lonely," he wrote, "all my homies." Dul even posted the same article to his Instagram, showing that he's aware that he's on their radar as well. The Inquirer also mentioned 3 other YBC members that was arrested and convicted for taking lives, on top of Mayor Pablo and Curry, which makes it 5 YBC members in total who've been snatched up, and not including the guys that passed away. This just goes to show that law enforcement was aiming to put an end to YBC, and the walls were closing in on YBC Dul, being that he's considered to be the ringleader. So fast forward to his passing, when we're told that they were tracking his whereabouts and his location, now we basically know why. But all of this still brings us back to our question. If they were watching Dul, how was 16-year-old Aiden Waters able to take his life in broad daylight? Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this in the comments. Basically, it seems as if YBC Dul didn't pass away, he would definitely be spending a lot of time in prison due to being under investigation. Y'all let us know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. I'm out.